So this is a review for Bosko's Knight-Mare, released in 1933. It's the 54th in the series, and it's directed by Hugh Harman. Currently, there's no real release on this cartoon on physical media, so it's unrestored. I've just done a little patch-up job here, as you can see. But if you look hard enough, you should be able to find it. But in case you haven't seen this one, look, it's pretty straightforward, as all the Boskos pretty much are. So, Bosko falls asleep reading a book about the knights of old. He dreams of himself of being a knight. After some shenanigans, Princess Honey has been kidnapped and he's off to rescue her. So what you're going to see in this review is a re-edit of the original audio commentary I did before I had to take it down. So thanks Blue Genocide for helping me with that, and you'll hear some new thoughts from me. So grab some ye old popcorn and enjoy. Now I like the opening here, how they try to play with light here. I mean, it's not as elaborate as what Disney would eventually do, and once he goes into his dream about, of course, being a knight, I mean, what else did you expect, based on the title, it actually reminds me of one of my favourite Mickey Mouse shorts, Ye Olden Days, which I highly recommend you take a look at if you haven't already. It's available on the Disney Blu-ray of Robin Hood from the 70s, in a restored high-definition print as well, so it's pretty good. But I really wish that I could see this particular short restored. Looks like the backgrounds will be pretty awesome to see. And we're going to see some guest stars here that I absolutely love, the Marx brothers. I mean, if you haven't seen their work, just stop the commentary, go and see them, really. I mean, some of the funniest movies ever made, particularly the earlier ones. And I like how the animation here of the background as going up this particular tower. That poor horse, just his face. Gee, I wonder how that horse could support it. Some repeated animation from an earlier Bosko shooting gun, and look at that face. And how he just rolls up that sleeve. Gotta have a butt joke in a Bosko. And as with just about all Boskos, no ending, just, yeah, it was all a dream. Either that or ends abruptly, but at least here it makes kind of sense. But I do like how they add this scene, he just smashes that and, I don't know, he had a knight's costume in and then just, yeah, I don't know. I can't explain this one. Well, I guess Blue's a strange fella for not having a suit of armor in his house. I mean, do you have a suit of armor in your house? I'm pretty sure you would. No, of course. That's just silly. But now, those were my original thoughts anyway. But looking at this cartoon again, this opening actually reminds me of a lot of the early 30s Mickeys, where he'd be reading a story to the orphans, and then there'll be some kind of fantastical story. So, I guess maybe Hugh Harman and Marx were looking at other sources for inspiration. I don't know. That's just a theory anyway. You know, the beginning might be just full of random gags based around the medieval theme, of course. I gotta tell you, in this short, it's really entertaining, and it just shows that the Harman-Ising studio were getting better and better, despite the limited budgets of these shorts. I mean, look at the way that Bruno's gonna be dancing in just a moment. It's just so fun to watch. So those were the four Marx brothers. That was before Zeppo left the group after the movie Duck Soup. We've got Ed Wynn, whom you might know from Mary Poppins and in Alice in Wonderland cartoon. Jimmy Durante, which I spoke to with Devin Baxter in a previous video. Now, Gundy, I have no idea why he's there, and I'm pretty sure it's Gundy. And of course, we have Laurel Hardy, and it's my understanding that in a lot of times when the show's cartoon, they would cut this out. And here, of course, we've got a replacement for the Pete character from the Disney cartoons as he bites a lock, showing off how tough he is. But I'm actually surprised that they didn't use the villain from Bosko the Speed King, but by this point they probably weren't really thinking too hard about that. I definitely stand by what I said, that some of these angles and animation is really, really good for the time, and it just shows that they seem to be getting a lot more ambitious despite their limited budgets. Now, why they gave Bosko a mule instead of his horse they had in the beginning, I have no idea, but I guess it's more of a gag on, stubborn as a mule, haha, right? But look at the animation of that horse. Yeah, this has got some great animated moments and some strange ones like that submarine, to give another example. And of course, speaking of strange, look at that. Only in a Harman-Ising cartoon. Well, maybe. And while this abrupt ending makes sense, because of course it's all a dream, but this is really abrupt. You got that build-up with the villain, there's going to be a big fight, and then nothing. But, oh well, it is what it is. One interesting thing I did notice about this short is that Bosko's voice seems to be different. I'm not sure why the regular voice actor didn't do it, but yeah, take a listen.
Listen, Bruno. And then the bold, brave Knight. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
If you have an answer, definitely let me know. While there's less repeated animation in the later Boskos, they still rear their head, so as you can see in this dance, but of course it's all flipped here, but hey, it's a good bit of animation, I must say. So there's not really too much more to say about this one, so I'll give it a rating which is 7 out of 10. This is definitely one of the better of the later Boskos, which are more hits than misses. Are they perfect? No, but hey, they're quite fun. You can see some wonderful early animation and some interesting little mischief here and there, and this one at least is showing how ambitious they can be on a lower budget, so yeah, definitely worth watching. So that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.